August. Introduce this series. Well, the camera's rolling and I don't have enough battery and your nipples are showing, so.
Good. Faith.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are doing a brand new series on faith. I asked you guys in a poll what you guys would like to see more of during kind of like this quarantine time, and a lot of you guys said faith, and you guys gave us so many great suggestions and questions. So we thought we would tackle one or two topics per week and kind of create a series for it. So this is numero uno, and take it away, Tyler. What is our series on today?
We're doing a Q&A.
Q&A, kind of. Okay, so there were a lot of kind of short, easier questions that you guys asked that we could answer relatively quickly. So we thought we would kind of put it in just one video for you guys.
And we'll just read down the list. Where is she going?
I'm adjusting the light. It was a little too bright.
All right, so first question is favorite podcasts / pastors. Well, favorite podcast, I would say Mike Todd's. Well, he doesn't really podcast though. They
just record their Sunday sermons, but it's available on their podcast.
On the podcast. So just listening to messages. Mike Todd and Stephen Furtick. Those are two really good podcasts / pastors. Pastor Mike Todd is Transformation Church, and then Stephen Furtick is Elevation Church, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are two that we listen to a lot, especially because it's, you want to listen to someone, who has energy, and it's actually kind of funny too. So
yeah, I just like Michael Todd a lot because he is younger, but he still bestows that kind of like motivational conviction. Like he tells it how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat it, but he doesn't deliver it where you feel bad. It's just like, oh dang, like you're right. You know what I mean?
He has fun with it.
And he has fun with it, yeah, so.
Next one is daily things we do to feel closer to God now that church is closed. So one thing that she and I do daily now is we have been reading 45 minutes a day, even though we should have been doing that already. Sometimes we just don't. But we spend about 45 minutes reading the Bible, and we also journal as we go along, reading, short passages, and we talk about it afterwards together and talk about what we learned and what we're praying about as well. But also listening to worship music as much as possible too.
In the mornings when I'm getting ready, or if I'm just like kind of cleaning the house, I'll put on worship music. It just puts me in a better tone. Worship music in the morning especially kind of just like it gets my mindset right, I guess. And if I am stressed out for whatever reason, I will totally just calm down, and it helps me get into more of the rhythm of like just having conversations randomly with God throughout the day. It's not even necessarily praying. Like you don't have to pray to talk to God. You could literally just like have thoughts and just send them up to him.
Listening to worship music is also a time of worship for yourself too, to spend that time with the Lord as well. So I think that's a good time. I know I connect well with worship. That's where I feel like the closest to God, aside from solitude and Bible study and whatnot, is really worship music, especially like when I'm in my car and I'm driving. Next question.
Wait. Before you go on.
Oh, and another thing too is that we're involved in a life group with a bunch of our buddies. So we do like the Zoom stuff once a week on Monday nights, and it's basically our virtual Bible study. So if you have friends that you can connect with, I highly encourage that, because that's going to be what ultimately drives you to the Spirit, is surrounding yourself with
people who keep you accountable. Yeah. Honestly, that is so huge in your walk of faith. Your walk should never be done alone, and even if it's just a couple people, like just meet once a week for like an hour and just FaceTime or whatever you guys want to do. It doesn't have to be a big group. It doesn't even have to be a group consisted of like people who really know and have lived out faith in like Christianity, because half of our group are completely new believers. Just gather and just talk and discuss verses, discuss things that are on your mind. Like, it doesn't have to be anything formal, but I can definitely say that like my life group, even though I grew up Christian and have been a Christian my whole life, my life group has just in like what, the last 3-4 weeks made me want to be so much better of a person. Because I have people to keep accountable of, I also then have to check myself and be like, look, like I gotta set an example to help my teammates, and it's vice versa with them as well. Yep. Iron sharpens iron. Shing, shing. Okay, I get a lot of questions from people asking where to start, how to read the Bible, etc.
So just start in the New Testament.
Why New Testament?
Because that's when Jesus came, is the New Testament. And that's what life is now, is because of Jesus. The Old Testament is great. It's historical. But that's what leads up to Jesus in the first place. But it's because of the new covenant that Jesus brought. So start at Matthew. I would suggest that. So start at the beginning of the New Testament.
What are some Old Testament books that are fire that people can still read?
Job.
J-O-B, not job, it's Job. I love Proverbs. I love Psalms. I honestly, like, I have never read the Bible in its entirety. I haven't really read much of the Old Testament at all, really, either. So
it's good to read both.
Yeah, it's good to read both, but the New Testament was written essentially to replace the Old, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because God, so in the Old Testament, when you would have to bring a sacrifice to God for forgiveness of sin, so a lot of people would sacrifice like animals and whatnot, like a burnt offering for the forgiveness of sins. But it wasn't changing people in their ways, so instead God sent his son Jesus to die on the cross, to die for our sins, and therefore that is in the New Testament, not the Old Testament at that point.
Next.
Favorite Christian artists and rappers. So mine is...
Start with groups first and then go into rappers.
I really do like Elevation Worship is good. Hillsong is good, obviously.
Bethel Music is really good. Yeah. Passion is good. Mosaic is
many.
Really good. Vertical Worship.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, just go onto Spotify and...
Chris Tomlin, Phil Wickham.
All of them also sing a lot of the same songs.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's just... All of it will be on Spotify, and I have a Spotify playlist too that's open to the public. Well, all my playlists are, but it's called Worship Tunes. So if you guys want to follow me on Spotify, you guys can listen to our favorite worship playlists and songs.
Our worship leader at Rock Harbor, our church, his name's David Cook. He's legit. And his stuff is on Spotify as well. And he's got some really good songs. So
he has a group with his old church from Florida. He just recently moved out to Orange County. So he has an actual group and they produce music, and their stuff is fire. Like it's really so good. It's freaking lit. So SEU Worship is their worship team name. So if you guys also want to check out SEU Worship.
And then rappers, I would say Lecrae, because he's the best Christian rapper, I would think. So one thing that's super cool about Lecrae is that he keeps it real. Like, he is focused on Christ, but he is also friends with like other rappers that aren't Christian rappers. So like he was super like big on Nipsey Hussle. He's a big fan of a lot of non-Christian rappers,
and he's friends with them too.
And it's cool. It's not a guy who like cuts himself off to the world, because I don't think that's what Jesus wants you to do as a Christian, is to cut yourself off to the world. He wants you to help others grow towards him. And what good would that do then at that point? And I really like Social Club Misfit Gang. They're a cool group. I like them. Andy Mineo is pretty good. Those are pretty much my top 3 Christian rappers. If Kanye is now classified as a Christian rapper, I guess he overtakes them all, but he's pretty good.
Easy. The next question is favorite Christian movies. So more recently, I would say I really liked Case for Christ. I don't want to say that a lot of Christian movies could be a little cheesy sometimes.
Corny.
corny. I think that's what I want to say. But Case for Christ it's not only a true story, but I learned so much because it's pretty much this editor whose wife becomes a Christian, and he is literally creating this case against his wife to prove that God is not real. So he goes to all these theologians, he goes to a bunch of historians, to doctors, to scientists, because, you know, they said if you can't prove it, then it's not real. And literally all of the information that he got and collected proved that God was real. And I was shook because I didn't even know so much of those facts and history and all that stuff behind it. So for me, it was fascinating, and it wasn't corny or anything. Another good one is, if you've never seen Left Behind, I mean, that's just like a classic Christian movie. It's about the rapture. So Left Behind is one. What is it?
God's Not Dead. That's a pretty good one. There's some corny parts in it, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, and that's also based off of a true story, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Passion of the Christ, the one Mel Gibson directed. That's like a classic. I mean, that was all over the movie theaters. Prince of Egypt, the cartoon character one. And I think Interview with God is another one that you could get on Amazon.
Last question, it looks like. Favorite devotionals and verses. Devotionals, I don't really do devotionals. I do more so just verses. And I think Jess does more devotionals. But there are a lot of like different devotional books though that you can get that have good stuff.
Jesus Calling is a really popular one. I read that a lot, but they are short, and I'm the kind of person who loves to dissect things and wants examples and whatever. So in college, one of my favorite devotionals was Girlfriends and God. So you go to girlfriendsongod.com/devotionals, and it's written by various women, but I love it because they really break it down, and it's very relatable. They use very like modern everyday examples and how they can tie it in with faith, and that really helped me through a lot.
Forgot about that one. He used
to read it too, and he actually really liked it. I mean, obviously, like when it says, you know, girlfriends or like you just replace it with him and he and your brothers, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty generic. Like their experiences, they can be masculine at the same time. But verses though.
Tyler's a huge verse guy.
Yeah, I like verses. Verses like make me happy.
He's a big movie quoter, so I think that's why he loves Bible verses too, because they're just like movie quotes to you,
I guess. But my favorite verse is Psalms 18:34, and he says, "He trains my arms for battle, so I can bend a bow of bronze."
What? Please say that again.
So he trains, depending on the version you read. There's other versions it'll say, he trains my hands for battle so my arms can bend a bow of bronze, and then other times it says he trains me for battle, trains my arms for battle, whatever it may be. But he trains my hands for battle so my arms can bend a bow of bronze, basically meaning that like he trains you for battle before he puts you in this world. So before you're born, he already knew you, he already knows who you're going to be and what you're going to become. So he's training you for the battle he's going to put you through here on earth. And a bronze medal was one of the strongest metals in biblical times, and not even the strongest man without God can bend bronze. So basically it means that with God in his strength, you can bend anything and you can do anything at that point.
I have a lot of ones that I like, but I feel like every season that I go through, new ones jump at me because they kind of relate to what I'm going through at that time. But my favorite one across the board is Matthew 5:13-16. It is, "You are the world's seasoning to make it tolerable. If you lose your flavor, what will happen to the world? And you yourselves will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless. You are the world's light, a city on a hill, glowing in the night for all to see. Don't hide your light, let it shine for all, let your good deeds glow for all to see, so that they will praise your heavenly Father." And for me, I think why I like that one so much is because it really pertains to like my line of work, you know. At the end of the day, I have a platform and I have to use that platform and like, I visualize it as a platform, and there's just like this lighthouse with like a beacon of light, and that's kind of like what I have to provide and bring to the table with all of my followers.
Hey Jess, do you think I'm glowing right now in this video?
Why?
I must have a lot of salt for to have a lot of salt to provide for the earth. Because you're glowing. I'm glowing, okay. So I must have a lot of flavor. Whatever.
Anyways, okay, so that just about wraps it up for our first video. We just wanted to kind of do like a quick intro, make it a little bit lighter, and answer some more questions, and then we will delve into longer videos of just one single topic in the weeks to come. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, you guys. All.
God bless.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to me.
Okay, we're cutting you off.